You scheduled it?
No. All right. Hello, everyone. I am YandisStar, and this is Unsolicited Advice or Unsolicited Tarot Advice with YandisStar. This is just a show just for us to hang out. We do oracle reads, we do tarot reads, we do Reddit reads because why not? You know, it's fun. And this is just about, hanging out and kind of learning from a lot of these stories. We're learning how they we're learning what we could take from them. So what kind of lessons do we take from them? What lessons does the cards what lessons do the cards oh, sorry, one second. I'm new here, guys, so if you see him coming to help me with my stream, it's because I know nothing about technology, and so I know about cards, I don't know about technology. So oh, hello. Hi, Brent. My man, y'all. How are you? So we're just pulling some cards and doing some Reddit reads and enjoying life here. So I kind of like to start off with like a little bit of a message, whether it be an oracle, whether it be a tarot. It just kind of depends on the day and what we're doing. And so, yes, so we'll just get started. So we'll do an oracle card pull right now. We'll do a poll or kind of see what is it that we need to, what messages should we take today? What messages do we need to hear today? Okay. Oh, funny. Joy. Joy. So a lot of us, I don't know if you could see the card, a lot of us go through life without recognizing the little things that make us happy. So, we go through the mundane routines of life. We go through work, we go taking care of the kids, taking care of ourselves, cleaning the house, doing all of the things. And we never really stop to, I guess, smell the roses in a sense. And with everything that we do all day long, it's easy to get bogged down and it's easy to lose your joy because it's like, what am I doing this for? And that's where we should probably be a little bit kind to ourselves. We be a little bit kind to ourselves as in one, taking 10 minutes. And when I say 10 minutes, I mean 10 minutes away from the phone, 10 minutes doing something you really want to do, or just sitting and staring at a wall. You will be surprised at how good that feels to just sit and stare at a wall. Finding joy in the things that you have, because a lot of times we're so focused on the things that we've lost or the things that we're trying to gain that we don't just sit in the present and know and say, oh my gosh, I am so grateful that I don't have to go out and pull a carrot from the dirt. I can just go to the grocery store and get it. But some people do pull carrots from the dirt and it's probably a lot healthier. I'm just giving an experience or an example. Or I'm just so grateful that, I can, I don't have to take the time to do things, like pick every blueberry from a bush. I can just go grab it from the store if I need to, and it gives me more time to do other things that I enjoy. Unless you enjoy picking blueberries from a bush, because some people do, and it's needed, farming. But finding the joy in little things in life is, and in the mundane. We have lights, we have shelter. However, However, don't be mistaken. Don't understand that it's okay to want more as well. Being grateful does not mean that you just are content with everything that that you have now and don't have any ambitions for more. It's okay to want more and be grateful at the same time. You are not ungrateful because you want more, but we find joy in looking at the things we are grateful for. Okay? All right. So let's do one more. Let's do one more. I like doing oracles for kind of the overall because it does give an overall message. And I like oracles because for me it's a little bit better for the advice. Tarot is a lot more specific and kind of gets into the nitty-gritty. So, yes. Let's do another one. Worthiness. Oh, this one's fun. So, worthiness. I kind of like to attribute this to confidence. So we go through life not asking for things because we don't feel like we're worth it, or that the society tells us we're not. The society tells us we're not worth, someone buying us a cup of coffee or buying us dinner. We're not worth someone helping us. We're not worth, we're not worth the attention of others when we're trying to get it. We're not worth validation. But you are. You are. And you have to understand that a lot of times people that are trying to, let's say, people that are trying to manipulate they try to go after the worth. Because if you don't feel like you're worth anything, you're not going to expect anything, and they can just give you garbage. Garbage. And they're okay with giving you garbage. That means they don't have to do anything in order to be in your presence or have access to you. But when you know your worth, your standards go up. When you know your worth, your price goes up. When you know your worth, you get treated better because you will not stand for garbage. Okay? So we need to know our worth. We need to know our worth in order for other people to know our worth as well. Starts with us. Okay? So, and this was usually a time where I would take some questions from people if you guys have any tarot questions. But until then, we're going to do some Reddit reads. We're going to pull some cards while we're doing our Reddit reads to see what we can learn in the situation or how we can tie in the situation with the card we pull. And usually when I do reads for people, I use the tarot cards, because again, they're more specific. I like them, to show me what's going on. But until then, let's do it. Okay. So let's pull up some things, some stories, because you guys like stories, right? I know I like a good story. Okay. We can learn a lot about ourselves from other people. And that's why I kind of use this, because a lot of times we don't see a situation until it's in someone else. And we don't see how we can learn from the situation until it's in someone else. And then when we see it in someone else, if we can recognize that's what is going on with us too, then we can learn about it more or easier. Okay? So let's see here. Some of these Reddit posts are fun. They're fun to read. Because people have the audacity. Okay. One of my favorites is the Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole posts are just the greatest because they have the most outlandish situations that you can think of. And it's just fun. It's fun to do. Okay. So I'm going to just read it from here because trying to put it on the screen, I feel like it'll be a lot right now. So I'm going to read it from my phone. That's why you see me going back and forth with my phone. Every now and then I'll stop, pull a card, see how we can tie things in. Okay. So just bear with me here. Work with me. All right. So the title, Am I the A-hole for dropping our dinner on the ground and walking out when my boyfriend asked me, what's for dinner tonight, B? Itch. B. I guess there was an emphasis on the itch, which is a little funny. Okay. So I was over my boyfriend's apartment this weekend and I was cooking dinner because he was studying for exams. I made pasta and a chunky sauce with meatballs and veggies. That was very, very descriptive. I told him dinner was ready and he goes, what's for dinner tonight, B? With like a lot of emphasis on the last word. And that B word is in capital letters, okay? After she made that beautiful dinner, imagine being called the B word, all right? I was fed up. I had a pretty rough day with work. And she worked too. Oh my God. I had a pretty rough day with work. I have some awfully bad associations with that word being used by other people in my life who are pretty abusive. Okay. So I was so irritated that I dropped the pot of pasta sauce I'd been carrying right on the ground and was like, well, nothing's for dinner tonight now. And I better not hear you using that word again. It's for the girls. Yeah, I don't think I would take lightly to being called the B word either. I have never been called the B word from a spouse. I think, and if I did, I think that would be an instant bye-bye. I'll just walk out the door at that point. You know? Because why? No. So let's continue. He was freaking out about how sauce had landed on his rug. You care about the rug. You care about the rug, but you don't care about her feelings. Okay, cool. And he even, yes, I can see you. Of course. Is there a delay? It might be a little bit of a delay. Yes. Okay. So, I don't see anything. There might be a little bit of a delay in the chat. So if I can't see it right away, sorry. So sorry. Hmm? Oops. Oh. Ooh. Harmony. Hello. I don't know what is going on with this. I can't even see the whole thing. I can't even see the whole chat. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. Harmony said, oh, not worth your time, girl. Someone speaking to you like that, go girl, drop that. Absolutely. Drop it right on the floor. Drop it right on the floor. That's the best. Okay, so where were we? Let's see. All right. Can you hear me? Okay. He was freaking out about how sauce had landed on his rug. And he even said, "You're seriously acting like a bee right now. I don't know what else to call it." He said it again. He said it again after she'd already dropped the sauce on your rug, after she'd already dropped dinner all over the place. You'd already lost dinner. Now, what do you want to lose? There's something else to lose at this point. Okay? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it's the audacity. I just walked out and got takeout for myself and went to my friend's house. Good girl. She thought it was funny, but my boyfriend was furious. He kept texting and calling and sending me voice memos trying to explain that saying, "What's for dinner tonight, B?" was a TikTok trend. And that he was quoting something as a joke to put on TikTok. Pause. Pause. Was there a camera? Was there a camera? Was there a camera out? And if it was a TikTok trend, you would know it was a TikTok trend. And as soon as she dropped the pasta sauce on the floor, she would have said it was a TikTok trend. Okay? It's not giving TikTok trend to me. But let's continue. Okay. Okay. All right. I thought that was the messiest excuse ever. It's SHITEest excuse ever. It doesn't matter if he saw it all as a joke or stole the joke. It was still disrespectful. It was very disrespectful. It was very disrespectful. But it didn't change the fact that he thought that S was funny. To demean me when I was trying to do him a favor. Like HE double hockey sticks, I came over when he was studying to make a home cooked dinner and he decided it's time for jokes. So I put my phone down on Do Not Disturb for the night and split a bottle of wine with my friend and her roommate. You know what? That goes back to our oracle card worthiness. We're going to take a slight breather. That goes back to knowing our worth. Because here's the thing. Here she is cooking this man dinner after she didn't work. I don't know anybody who wants to come home and cook dinner after you work. And he's studying. And he decides he wants to play this joke, right? And a lot of times jokes are riddled with truth. A lot of jokes are riddled with truth. So if someone's joking like that, knowing that you do not like the words, you do not like being called certain things, they don't think highly of you. They don't think highly of you. Okay? That's why you need to know your worth and stand 10 toes down on what you believe in. Know your word, stand 10 toes down when they try to switch it and say, "Oh, I was just joking." They weren't joking. They were not joking. Okay? Let's continue. All right? I love how the cards just come back. I love how we can come back to our messages here. All right? Let's continue. All right. The next morning, he was sending me angry texts. Oh my God. Demanding I clean his rug because he was too busy with exams to do it. I was shocked. He left it overnight. That's disgusting. I text him back saying, "Yeah, so that's the B text, honey. Leave me alone till you're ready to handle your own cooking and cleaning because this B isn't anymore. Also, it's vile you left that soaking all night." Very vile. Caveat here. He purposely left it soaking all night. Just to tell her to clean it up. He's calling her angry, no emotional control, to tell her to come clean it up. To me, that sounds like a little bit of controlling behavior. But I want to pull a tarot card. Let's kind of see what's going on here. Let's stop in the middle. Because sometimes tarot can. Sometimes, I kind of want to see. Now, this isn't to dive into the situation. This situation is old. So obviously we're not diving into the actual situation. But we're just going to kind of see what Les and the tarot cards have to say for us for this one. Because at this point, because this guy is calling her all kind of names. This is supposed to be the person that she's with. This is supposed to be her romantic partner. He's calling her all kind of names, calling her the B word, demanding she clean up some old sauce that she did yesterday as a result of him calling her the B word. It's time to break up. It's time to break up. Even the card said it's time to break up. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. That wouldn't even be a boyfriend anymore at this point. That's an instant block. That's an instant block. This would be him. This will be him. You could see my back as it goes out the door. Continue. That upset me a little bit. Okay. Anywho. Where are we? See, I lost my place and it made me so mad with the audacity. Okay. So, he called me and told me that he was okay with doing his own household work, but I did throw a pot of sauce at the ground, so that's on me to clean up. I told him, yeah, no, I'm not comfortable with doing chores for you if you see me like your bitch. Absolutely not. So, uh-oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Brent. How sweet. Thank you so much. And once I get all of the donation things up, I'll start, if you have questions, I'll do your readings as well. So, but yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate it. Okay. And so, let's continue. All right. He told me he didn't, and that it was just, actually, let's go back a little bit. I told him, yeah, no, I'm not comfortable with doing chores for you if you see me like your bitch. He told me he didn't, and it was just a trend, and I got mad, teed off. He was playing that TikTok trend. There goes with BS excuse again, I told him. Well, I'm starting a trend called saucing. It's funny. She says, well, I'm starting a trend called saucing, where as a little joke, people throw pasta sauce around. You can't be mad because it's a little trend, a little jokey joke, just a little prank, bro. Oh, I love... Just like that sauce is on the ground in this 5 of cups. I love every bit of it. I love the pettiness. It gives me life. It gives me every bit of life. Because sometimes we need a little bit of chaos. Because some people don't get it. Some people don't get it. Okay? Sometimes we need a little bit of chaos in order to let them understand that you're not the one. You're not the one. But then a lot of times they want to turn around and be mad at you for pulling a them on them. But, that's life. That's life. Anywho, he got really teed off and hung up on me. He got mad. He got really teed off and hung up on me. Now, I'm seriously wondering if this dumb effing TikTok joke is going to be the end of things between us, as it should. As it should. I don't even know why you're wondering. You should be driving that chariot of it being done. It should be. Good Lord. All right, let's see here. Hold on one second. Okay. Whew. Am I the a-hole for how I reacted when my boyfriend asked me what's for dinner tonight, B? Absolutely not. 100% no. You reacted just fine. I wish there was chunks of pasta in the sauce to go on the floor as well as just the pasta sauce. I wish you threw it at the walls. I wish you threw it at him. Just a big old like glob of it and just yeah. That would have been hilarious. Okay. Edit to address a comment. I've gotten a lot. I don't have time to reply to everyone. But did you tell him not to call you a B? Like, how would he know otherwise? Like, how would he know otherwise not to call you a B? I don't know who left that comment. I guess this person got that comment a lot. So for someone to ask, how would he know not to call you a B? Why would you even call someone a B? Exactly, Harmony. You recognize your worth. He's not worth your energy. He is not worth your energy at all. Hence, again, worthiness. Worthiness. It ties back to our message at the beginning of this. Okay. So, and if anyone around you even has that question of, well, did you tell him not to call you the B word? It should be inherent that your partner should not be name calling. Now, some people have like a general understanding that that's how they talk to each other. You know those people. That's their relationship. You know, it is what it is. But if you clearly have a problem with it, if you clearly threw some pasta on the floor, obviously you're upset. And if this person actually cared, if this person was actually a respectful person, it doesn't matter whether someone told him not to or not. If this person was a respectful person, they would have just said, I'm sorry, as opposed to now they're getting upset and making excuses for calling you the B word and now trying to make you feel bad for getting mad at them for being disrespected. What? No sense. It makes none. It makes none. So anyway, not the a-hole. I'm not going to continue to read it because that one's, you know, we got the gist of it. Okay. Know your worth. Leave when it's time, because that's not okay. Leave when it's time. That relationship was over with the pasta sauce. Okay, continue. Let us continue. All right. So let's do another oracle. You know what? Actually, let's do a tarot pull. Let's see. Let's see what a lesson is. Usually I would do an oracle card after that to kind of tie into a lesson that we need to learn. But to be honest, our lesson was worthiness. It came before. That was a big lesson for that one. Okay. How can we recognize when someone is worthy or not? So I'm gonna answer that one before the cards, Harmony. How can we recognize when someone is worthy or not? How do they make you feel? First of all, we need to trust our gut and trust our instinct. Because a lot of time our guts tell us something. Our gut tells us whether a person is worthy or not by the way we feel around them. Do we get butterflies? Do we get anxious? Butterflies and anxiety are actually kind of one and the same, you know? Or do we feel warm and secure? You know, that's the first level. The second level, are you able to communicate? Is that person able to take accountability if they hurt you? Instead of making excuses, are they able to, you know, just say, I'm sorry. You feel that way and you have a right to feel that way. You know, are they able to say, I'm sorry, as opposed to trying to make you feel bad about what you feel? You know, but let's see what the cards say. You know, sometimes it has a different answer than me, you know, or it's the same answer. It's just, you know, a different perspective. So how can we recognize when someone is worthy or not? That's a good question. You know, Queen of Wands, again, this is also a knowing your worth card. So the Queen of Wands is very fiery. She is confident. And there's one thing that people that don't want you to be worthy or don't want you to recognize your worth are people that are intimidated by your own confidence. So if this person lets you shine the way you shine in all of your glory and let you be the queen, then they're worthy. If they're constantly dimming your light, let's say you're walking around, you're singing, you have a beautiful voice, or that person stops singing, and that's happened to me. That's happened to me. We're not going to get in my life right now. But if that person is not letting you shine, they're not worthy of you. If they are intimidated by your beauty, by your success, they're not worth it. They're not worth it. Okay. Good question. Let's see. Hold on. Let's look into the chat here. Oh, now we're showing up. Okay. And also, if you see me looking down and reading, it's because I'm looking at the chat. Okay. All right. So let's go do another one. Let's do another one because these are fun. I like doing them. Oh. Okay. I have to do it from my phone because it goes out of it. I have them saved. Okay. So our next one. And all of these are not going to be about relationships too. And some traits or behaviors that show worthiness. So what are some traits or behaviors that show worthiness? So that's a good question. So some of the behaviors that show worthiness, it kind of depends on the person, and well, that's one of it. Attentiveness. If they are able to see you, and they're able to be attentive and observant enough to know what makes you tick, even, this is a little catch-22, but even before you say it, because if you care about someone, you can recognize little traits about them, things they like, things they love, without them having to always say it. If they have to always say it, then you are not paying attention to them enough. I am going to say that. Now, there are some things you want to communicate about, but if you love something and someone, you are going to laser focus on that person or that thing, know what it needs or they need, know what they like and do those things in order to keep the thing that you love. So attentiveness is one. Persistence, not persistence. Sometimes I have word finding issues. So if someone really cares about you, there's not going to be anything to stop them from doing from taking care of you. For example, a person that loves you is not going to see you struggle. A person that loves you is not going to want to see you struggle. So if you are struggling in the presence of that person and they are just okay with it, that person's not worthy of you. If they are comfortable seeing you struggle, they are not worthy of you. And unfortunately, a lot of people take advantage of that with their partners. If they actually don't care about the person that they're with, they take advantage of that. And it's sad because that's how the good people turn bad, or that's how the good people turn into, or the hurt people turn into the hurt people of the other relationship. So hope to answer your question. Sometimes I kind of ramble if I don't have a word for it. But yes, so attentiveness, like I said, compassion, maybe, I guess that's the word. I guess it's compassion. I think that's a good word for it. But yeah, let me see what another one. Let me see what the cards say for that one too. It might give me a word. What are some traits or behaviors that show worthiness? Traits and behaviors sometimes it'll give me an off. Oh, awesome. I'm glad. Let's see. Patience as well. So if they're willing to kind of wait for you, wait for you in a sense that we are all not perfect beings. You know, we come from different situations where we get hurt. We come from different situations where, you know, maybe our upbringing wasn't the funnest. You know, maybe we had hard childhoods. If that person is patient in all of your flaws and are willing to work with you through them, assuming you're trying to work on them as well, that person is worthy of you. Okay. Thank you for all the good questions, Harmony. I love her so much. She's the best. All right. Let's do another Reddit read. All right, let's see. So like I said, these all aren't going to be necessarily romantic relationships. I feel like there is so much more to learn. There's so many types of relationships. Romantic relationships are usually the most common because they're usually associated with the dopamine, but there's so much you can learn from other relationships as well. And so I don't necessarily do only romantic, but you know, they're kind of fun. All right. So the next one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay my sister's husband's surgery with my inheritance / college money? Some of these I am reading as you are reading as well. So, or as I'm reading them to you. So if, you know, because I like to be as, just a little, just all right. Whatever. I love you too. All right. Context. My sister, 27-year-old female, and I, 18-year-old female, so the sister's older, lost our dad a year ago. I'm sorry. And these are old too, so it's 5 years at this point. These are old stories. He was my only parent. Mom was never in mine or my sister's life, which is also very sad. Dad left money, inheritance, for me and sister, and she used her inheritance to get new cars, renovate her house, and renovate her house. I live with my aunt right now because my brother-in-law didn't let me stay with my sister. So the husband, don't be jealous. So the brother-in-law or the husband, the sister's husband, did not let this sister stay with them. Okay. The sister that they are asking for money apparently from. Okay. I'm planning on using my inheritance money to pay for college tuition. As you should. I've always wanted to be a doctor, but haven't decided which branch yet. Oh, you know, inheritance money might be helpful for that because that's a long road. I can be whatever I want to be. You know what? Yes, you can. You know, it's okay. If you want to be a hater, that's cool. But we love you though. I know he's joking. He's joking. We can do whatever we want to do. You can do anything. He does that to me all the time. Okay. So. So now we get into the story. My sister and I haven't been close. So they're not even close. It started after she got married to her chronically ill husband, who was allowed to make backhanded comments about dad and mock his illness and make a scene at his funeral. That's okay. Only because he's ill and shouldn't be held accountable for his behavior. You know, I find that's, I'm gonna segue here, get into a little serious mode. I find that is a common thing with, now by all means, I am very compassionate for, you know, for illness and everything, but that is a common thing that I have seen, you know, even in my career, that a lot of times when people are, you know, sick or, you know, even other, you know, disabled, they have a lot of emotions, and rightfully so, rightfully so. But then sometimes it becomes so bad that they start treating other people badly. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where a lot of people tend to let it not hold them accountable because of the illness, because they're trying to be compassionate which is understandable. But that may not help the person, because here's the thing: if the person that's ill that needs someone to take care of them is going around insulting people, going around acting, you know, just out of line, no one's going to want to help them. And it makes it worse for them in the long run when they need a caregiver. It makes it so much worse. So, you know, unfortunately, it's one of those situations that we do feel compassion for them, but sometimes we do have to hold them accountable because it helps them in the long run, because you want people to help you too, you know? So I get it. All right. I've distanced myself but my sister kept visiting a lot lately, venting about my brother-in-law's condition. So now she's talking about her husband. Okay. He's been in and out of the hospital for heart problems, in need of surgery. She brought up my inheritance money several times, but I end up cutting the conversation, as you should. As you should. She then straight up asked if I could help pay for her husband's surgery. She'd pay back in less than a year. I felt uneasy because if I give her money from my inheritance, which is a large amount, heart surgery, yeah, which is a large amount, then there's no guarantee she'll pay back before it's time to apply for college. And it is not. A lot of times they won't pay you back. There's going to be excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. They will not pay you back. So, no. It's a no for me. But, let's continue. I'm taking a year gap, but I know my sister can't pay back that much, and I felt like I was risking my future. Absolutely, especially if she spent all hers. Y'all got the same amount of money. She spent all hers. No, on renovations and cars and things, knowing that your husband has a condition, it's not smart. Not smart. My second house Venus son, my second house son is like kind of irritated about that. Not a full astrology girly, but I know a little bit about it. All right. I refused to help, and she had a meltdown at my aunt's house, calling me heartless, cruel, with no empathy. Lord, they play on guilt. When people play on guilt, it's so funny. So now I'm heartless, but this is the husband that wouldn't let me stay with you guys. This is the husband that has been talking so much mess and insulting our father before he passed away. But I'm heartless? Ma'am, you just came over here complaining about it. Okay. Okay. Anywho. She said that her husband's health should be a She said that her husband's health should be a priority. And I needed help because education is nothing compared to someone's health. And asked if I'd be happy to see her as a widow and my nephew with the father. And okay, here we go. And this is where we need to stop people pleasing. I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm going to see what kind of lessons we need to learn. Actually, we pulled this out. We're talking about a widow. Betrayal. Okay? I just pulled straight from the top of the deck here. Betrayal. Here's the thing. People will use your own guilt. Yes, don't forget to like and share. Thank you, Brent. Oh, I dropped it. Butterfingers. People will use your own guilt to betray you. They want to use you in certain ways. So they are going to play any type of way in order to get you to do what they want, and play on your niceness and your kindness. And this is why in this society, we're raised to be kind. We're raised to be nice. We're raised to share. No. And that's not always valid. That's not always valid. Because I'm sharing so much. You have more than I do at this point, and now I'm cutting my nose off to help you. Why? I'm supposed to use my inheritance to help your husband who doesn't even like me. But now you're making me feel guilty for it. This is why guilt is a funny emotion that people need to control in themselves. That's a part of self-mastery here. Y'all need to control your own guilt. That is one of the biggest forms. That is the biggest emotion people try to manipulate, is guilt. It's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, let's continue. All right. My aunt suggested others pay, but most of them cut my sister and her husband off for a good reason. For a good reason. I argued that her husband's poor health isn't my fault. And after she kept blaming and guilt tripping me, she kept crying. Oh, expand. Expand on what? On what? Tell me. People taking advantage of guilt. Okay. So let's see. It kind of goes back into our other story as well. So a lot of times people, let's say someone slaps you in the face. Okay. And then they slapped you in the face. Now you get upset with them because they slapped you in the face and you smack them back. Oh my God, you hit. Then they go playing the victim. Oh my God, you hit me. I don't understand. Why would you do something like that? You just hit me. I don't understand. Or actually, no, let's do another one. So let's say someone wants money from you. They are not as well off, and you are. They spend all of their money on, frivolities, just entertainment, fun. They're not managing their money correctly. You spend and you guys make the same amount of money. You spend all of your time and your money saving. You skip, I don't like saying skip Starbucks, but let's say you skip Starbucks one day. You skip Starbucks every other day. You purposely skip out on things that would be fun for you in order to save up your money. Now you have a good nest egg while they have -10 in their account. Okay? They don't have any money for food. So here they come asking you, hello, can I get, money for food? Yes, they do. Family members do this a lot. Can I get money for food? Can I get money for this? And you say, no, I don't have it for you. Yeah, you might have it in your savings, but that's not what the money's for. Because a lot of times they won't pay you back. Now here you go. How you don't care that I'm hungry? You're just so they start going after character traits. You're just so selfish. Oh. And a lot of times you just have to accept it. Be the villain. Be the villain. Okay, I'm selfish. And you still not getting my money. Oops. I'm gonna drink some water because I'm starting to. Every time I talk a lot, I get a little, dry. Family members absolutely do this a lot. And let me not get started on family. Family members do this a whole lot, especially because they have the title of family. They have the title of family, so now they feel like they can do anything and treat you any kind of way. And then they guilt trip you when you don't let them treat you a certain kind of way. It's a mess. It's an entire mess. But yes, people will do this all the time to get you to do what they want you to do. And they don't even really care about how you actually feel. They don't even care that you feel guilty. They just want you to do it. They don't care that it's hurting you. If now, like, let's say you feel so guilty that you give them the $10. They don't care if that was your last $10 and you can't eat. They're fine. They're eating. These people won't even care. Like I said, like I say all the time, a lot of these people won't spit on you if you're on fire. But they want you to do something for them. No, it's a mess. Anyway, yes. Family members do it all the time. Harmony. Okay. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Cool. Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit. So basically she said, sister, she won't be able to, or sister may not even be able to pay her back before college. Okay. So she says, I refused to help. And she had a meltdown at my aunt's house, calling me heartless, cruel, with no empathy. She said that her husband's death should be a priority. We read all this. Should be a priority, and asked if I should be happy to see her be a widow. Yes, I'll be happy to see you be a widow. Okay. And then everybody cut the family off. Cut the sister and the husband off. Okay. She kept crying, although my aunt decided to stay out of it. She said that I should be prepared for permanent damage in my relationship with my sister if I don't help her now. People shouldn't even care about that. A lot of time you shouldn't care about that. If it's to the point where this is happening and the sister is guilt tripping and doing all of this, because what has the sister done for her? She's just trying to take. What did the sister ever do for her? That relationship might need some permanent damage. Goodbye. She's been sending texts and pictures of her family telling me this is what I'm saying no to. This is what I'm saying no to. A happy, healthy family with a healthy husband and father. Again, she's trying to make it her fault. She's trying to make it her fault. Betrayal. She is trying to stop at nothing, to manipulate her own sister, because in order to doing something that she doesn't want to do. Now, what I do understand is your husband's sick. That's your livelihood. That's your livelihood. He needs a new heart. But if she says no, you don't think to find another way? You don't think to find another way? You just resort to guilt tripping your sister just because you know she has it. That's why people shouldn't even, well, I guess they knew from the inheritance, but there could have been another way that she wasn't looking at because she's so busy trying to guilt trip her sister. Anyway. I cried and felt like I was being selfish. Not good aunt and sister. That's what she wanted you to do. That's what she wanted you to do. I asked my friend, and he said, let them sell cars, thank you, and all the luxurious stuff they bought to afford the surgery, and warned me if I give them money, I'll never get it back and I may not be able to go to medical school. We all know medical school is expensive. We all know medical school is expensive. Exactly. Let them sell stuff. If they want to be the way they are, let them sell stuff. Okay? That was the end of that one. But at the end of the day, there wasn't really an update for this one. Let me see. Yeah, there wasn't really an update for that one. But let them sell stuff. Because you blew your inheritance on cars and luxury and all the things. But now you expect me to pour more into you when something is wrong. That's why you build a nest egg. That's why you save like I did, ma'am. Yeah. So let's see. One of the cards was betrayal. Let's see if there's another thing we can tie into this. Another oracle we can tie into this. I need to pull an oracle for that one. Okay. That might be the last Reddit review I do. So what lesson can we learn from that one? And at some point, you know, if you all have cards too, at some point I kind of want us to do like a little together thing where you guys pull out your cards too and give me your answers on what you got. You know, whether you have oracle, whether you have tarot, put the tarot in the chat or the card in the chat and what you learned from or how that card ties into the situation. Okay? Make this fun because we're all learning. All right? Let's see. Oh. This is an interesting one. Miracles. So how can we tie miracles into this? Because this kind of seemed like a negative situation. I told her to pray for a miracle. No, I'm joking. No. So what I'm getting from this one is sometimes things like this happen to teach us something. You know, they teach us maybe lessons that we haven't learned before, or also they teach us maybe some people may not need to be in our lives, and from there our lives get better. So it could look like maybe a miracle, like let's say she cuts the sister off and say, okay, forget it, we never going to talk again, and her life magically gets better. And that happens when you cut toxic people off. Your life almost like a miracle magically gets better. Sometimes situations are put into our lives in order to change it in such a way that we do think it's a miracle. And for her, it could be now it's time to cut them off, because why do I need the stress of you constantly guilt tripping me? Now I actually feel like a bad sister. No, absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. All right. So we've been on here for a little bit. I actually have to go soon, but let's do one more read. Just kind of a collective read. Let's do a tarot. Let's do a tarot. We did a beginning message, but let's end it with a little bit of tarot. Okay. May not even have to do with the. It may not even have to do with the stories that we read today. But don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things, so we can, we can chit chat another day. I'm gonna try to do this as often as I can. But yes. Okay. Oh, jeez. Ooh. You know what? We're gonna pull these out. Okay. We pull this one out first. Okay. So even if we try to tie it in. So if you're someone trying to build your life, if you're trying to build up your life, you have to have people around you. You have to have people around you. You have to have people that are there to help lift you up. People that see your worth in order for you to be able to build something worth anything. There are going to be people that try to trick you. There are going to be people that try to trick you. There are going to be people that try to distract you from your goals. There are going to be people that try to keep you from building what you need to build because they don't have it. But the biggest thing is focus, and focus on those new, and sometimes you got to get those new relationships. You got to focus on those relationships that's going to help you build the life that you want. Okay? You are worth more than being guilt tripped and manipulated in this life. Okay? So remember that as we go out through our day, and remember to, not let anybody play games with you, and that you are the master of your own life. Okay? Thank you for joining. Thank you, Harmony. Thank you, Brent. I love you both. They're like my favorite people in the world. For joining. And yes, I will see you all in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of the things. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one. All right. And I also do readings as well. So if you would like a reading, you can send me either you can send donations, you can send me an email. I could put the email in the comment section as well if you would like to inquire about readings as well. Okay. All right, guys. Go about your day. Love you. And I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye. Oh, so fun. Thank you. Thank you all.